types of resources. Now, on the basis of origin, we have two types of resources, biotic resources and abiotic resources. Anything which is living or which has been obtained from the biosphere, including animals, plants, insects, human beings, livestock, they all are a part of biotic resources. Okay, because they are living. Abiotic resources are those resources which are non-living, like water, air, minerals, soil, rocks. So anything which does not have life in it but is useful is called as abiotic resources. Then on the basis of exhaustibility, we have again two types, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Anything which can be renewed back after utilization, again in nature, or reproduced by physical, chemical, mechanical processes is called as renewable. So anything which is replenishable, that means it can be restored back or it can be reproduced, like solar energy, wind energy, water energy, forest resources. So after being utilized, it can be renewed back. Then non-renewable resources are the ones, if we utilize them or we use them, they get depleted in the environment, like basically minerals or fossil fuels, petroleum. So if you are using it, because it takes a very long period of time, thousands of years to be formed, thousands and millions of years to be formed, so it cannot be easily replenished back in nature. So if you are using it, we basically lead to the decline of it or exploitation of that particular resource until and unless we recycle it back in the environment, like minerals can be recycled. Okay, then on the basis of ownership, basically they also have been categorized. First is individual resources. So all those resources which are occupied or owned by individual people or private individuals are called as individual resources. Like if we have our own property, a house, a car, so anything which we own is all our private resource. A house, a plot, property, okay, any kind of farm that we have or a pond that we have, anything that we own is called as individual resource. The next type of resource is community owned resource. This is owned by a specific community or a society, or when people come together and they own a certain resource. Like village people, when they have their grazing grounds or when they have their own farms, their burial grounds, okay, a small park or maybe a school. So all those resources are community owned. So they're owned by the community members, and they also are being used by the community members. So this is community owned resource. Okay, the next type of resource is national resources. So they are broader categories. National means it is owned, everything and anything is owned by the country or the nation, or which comes within the boundaries of the nation. They are called as national resources. So all the railway lines, the canals and the roads, the bridges, the parks, even the private owned properties which come within the country's boundary or border is called as national resources. So all the minerals and water resources, forests, wildlife, land within the political boundaries, and oceanic areas up to 12 nautical miles. This is the distance of your coastal area which is covered by a specific country. Beyond that, we have exclusive economic zone that falls into international resource. So within this particular distance, we can utilize the resources like petrol or minerals from the ocean floor. So anything, all the resources which belong to a specific country is called as national resources. Then international resources, these are owned by international institutions like United Nations. Okay, so they regulate some rules and regulations for it to be utilized. All those resources which I know they are not owned specifically by a specific country, but they are used by different countries, like oceanic resources which are beyond 200 miles of exclusive economic zone. So beyond 200 nautical miles in the ocean, that is the open ocean, which does not belong to any specific country. Any country can utilize it with prior permission. So they are not individually owned by the countries. That comes under international institutions. So these are international resources. Okay. So in the middle of the ocean, okay, whatever minerals that we obtain, that falls under international resources. Like India also has the right to utilize or mine manganese in the bed of Indian Ocean, which is beyond exclusive economic zone. Then, on the basis of the status of development, that means what is the potentiality of the resources, okay, how much it is utilized, it can also be categorized into different categories. The first is potential resource. Now, certain regions are full of resources, they are rich in resources, but the technology is not accessible or it is not available there. In that case, the resources are not fully or potentially utilized. So those resources are stored resources. Like in Rajasthan and Gujarat, there is an enormous potential for solar and wind energy. But the resource is not properly utilized because there is no technological know-how, or the development of technology is not proper. So it has not reached these isolated pockets of the country. That is why these resources are not fully utilized to the maximum potential level. The next is developed resources. These are the resources which have been surveyed and also they are utilized to the fullest level. So they are at their full potential, they have been utilized. Okay, the minerals and the resources which are fully utilized, okay, because the technology is available. So that is called as developed resource, like coal or petroleum. So once the technology is available and we know the right way to utilize the resources and to convert it into fully utilizable resource, those resources are called as developed resource. Then stock resources. Now they are very much closer to potential resources. Now stock means that there are some places which have got a lot of resources, and we have different kinds of resources in the environment, but we do not have the technology, or the technology has not been explored yet, or it has not been developed yet. So the resources have got a lot of potential, but we do not have the right technology or appropriate technology to utilize it. Like for example, they have given you example that water is a compound of two gases, hydrogen and oxygen. But we do not have the correct technology or technical know-how to divide it into oxygen and hydrogen. Now, hydrogen is a very useful source of energy, but we do not have the right technology to utilize it. So that is why it's become a stock. It can be utilized in the future when the technology will be developed. So then these resources are called as reserves because they are reserved for the future. So any kind of stock or any kind of resource which is reserved for the future because the technological know-how is not present, okay, that is called as a reserve. Like water has a lot of potential to generate hydroelectric power, but because we do not have, or we have a limited technology to utilize it, so therefore it is reserved for the future, or it is not utilized to the maximum potential. Thus the water in the dams and forest is a reserve which can be used in the future. So rainwater and any kind of water, most of the water is actually wasted. So we do not have the maximum technology to utilize it, or to utilize it in the fullest potential. Then we come to the development of resources. Now many resources are utilized and has been changed in its form to satisfy human needs. and it is also important to maintain the quality of living. So human beings are drastically utilizing the resources which are a gift of nature for their satisfaction of needs and requirements. So they are using it indiscriminately without even thinking that we need to preserve it for the future. So this is leading to two major kinds of problems. One is depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of a few individuals. Now in the society, we have some people who are very rich. They have got a lot of money, and they can also accumulate a lot of resources. They have everything available with them, so they do not think before using the resources. Most of the time, they waste the resources. So there's an accumulation of resources in a few hands. Only few people have the resources. Some people are have-nots. They do not have any kind of resource. They do not have any kind of facility. So the entire society is divided into two segments. One, who are the haves, who have got a lot of money, and they overutilize the resources without thinking of preserving or storing them for the future. And the ones who do not have any resources at all. So they are deprived of those resources. So in order to preserve it for the future, we need to be very clear. We need to have the knowledge, as well as we need to reserve the resources for the future generations. Otherwise, it will be completely exhausted.